Salute, Flemming from Denmark, aka Lyte Burly, back with another 52 blocks video. 52 blocks used to be a closed art, handed down from generation to generation in black communities in America. There were no schools you could go to if you wanted to learn 52 blocks, but that has changed. Now 52 blocks is readily available for more people to learn. I learned my 52 blocks via an online course under Lyte Burly, and after 500 plus days and 500 plus lessons, I was certified as a full instructor in 52 blocks under Lyte Burly. I always hit Bob, and he keeps coming back for more. Why is that? Short answer, he likes it. If you like this video, you should come back for more too. And the best way to do that is just as quick as a 1, 2, hit like, hit subscribe. It actually helps the YouTube algorithm, and that helps me to make more videos for you. And as you are enjoying this content, don't forget to share it with your friends so they can enjoy it with you. I appreciate you. Here's what you have to do. I'm back. 52 blocks, martial art, street style or Jailhouse Rock? That's the question. Every culture throughout the history of man has had some form of martial art. There were Asian, African, Oceanic, Eastern and Western European as well as American martial arts. Africa has a rich culture with martial arts, but there was nothing in Africa called 52 blocks. The techniques and style of fighting from African martial art no doubt has influenced 52 blocks, as 52 blocks is the original African-American contribution to martial arts. 52 blocks, as we know it today, was developed in America in black communities. First, a little background as how 52 blocks came to be. I'm not a subject matter expert on the origins of 52 blocks. My knowledge comes from one source, namely my coach and mentor Lyte Burly, who is a subject matter expert when it comes to 52 blocks. Let's go back in the day in America to boxing, not as we know it today, but to the roots of boxing. There was a time when matters were settled in what was called rough and tumble matches, which was basically two men squaring off and fighting it out in what closely resembles no-holds-barred matches. There were eye gouging, breaking of fingers, biting, and wrestling to go along with the striking. Known fact, the United States 26th President Theodore Roosevelt was known to be a rough and tumble exponent. This is easily confirmed by Google search. These kind of matches evolved into what was known as prize fighting, what we know as prize fighting, with two men squaring off in a more pugilistic type of match. It still wasn't boxing as we know it today. It was common to box toe to toe while holding and striking. Other tactics was allowed too, but the eye gouging and the finger breaking were gone. In the early days of prize fighting matches inside a boxing ring, there were little to no footwork, and matches were both very long and quite brutal. When African American fighters first were introduced to the prize fighting scene, it was a segregated time and different races of people did not live together. So these fighters naturally came from black communities. Early African American fighters helped to change the game. Jack Johnson used elbow blocks. He was a very good defensive fighter, and in those days, defense wasn't a big part of boxing. Jack Johnson was a great influence in introducing defense into boxing. Joe Gans was credited with creating the jab. George Dixon fought in tight circles, adding more footwork and mobility to boxing. Jersey Joe Walcott was known for using a type of footwork called cakewalk, which was good for setting up the right hand. And lastly, Benny Briscoe was another defensive fighter with a forward pressure. He used the crosshair guard made famous by Archie the Mongoose Moore. These African American greats and many more also helped to influence the development of 52 blocks as we know it today. Now, these fighters also had a life outside the ring. In their communities, they were revered and they were considered as elders, and as such they had a responsibility to mentor the younger generation. These elders shared their knowledge of fighting with the younger generation primarily as a means of self-protection. The black communities where 52 blocks was handed down from the elders oftentimes were pure communities, and in pure communities, life can be rough. In pure communities, the crime rate is often high, as life is difficult and these communities are not prioritized. I'm not saying that people from poor communities are criminals. Far from it, they are just as likely to be the victims of crime. But some will make poor choices, as life is hard and work is hard to come by. With a high crime rate and little access to legal representation, it meant that young black people from these communities oftentimes found themselves in prison, and they took their art with them. So among the black people in prison, 52 Blocks was their choice of survival. That is how Jailhouse Rock came to be. So what is it? Is 52 Blocks a martial art, a street style, or Jailhouse Rock? Lyte Burly was the first to systemize the art and to give it a written curriculum, making it into a teachable system. I know of at least one other 52 Blocks teacher who also teaches from a written curriculum, and that is Sensei Mo. Both Sensei Mo and Lyte Burly are accomplished martial artists with extensive training in multiple martial arts in addition to 52 Blocks. 52 Blocks has roots in boxing, and the style of 52 Blocks I learned from Lyte Burly shares footwork, head movement and punch logistics with modern boxing. But 52 Blocks is very much its own thing. So in addition to the boxing aspects, 52 Blocks has a lot of unique movements, blocks, principles, concepts and tactics. 52 Blocks is not limited to the rules or the curriculum of modern boxing. So here is the short answer to the original question. 52 Blocks as a martial art. 52 Blocks as a system with a written curriculum is a martial art. Lyte Burly's style of 52 Blocks is called 52 Blocks AOD, Art of Defense. So what I train and teach as a certified instructor under Lyte Burly is a martial art. 52 Blocks as a street style. 52 Blocks, as taught down from the elders in the black communities, was as a means of self-protection, and it was taught as a street style with the tactics to match the needs. Some of these tactics also spilled over into the martial art of 52 Blocks. 52 Blocks as Jailhouse Rock. The black communities in prisons used their knowledge of 52 Blocks, which also came to be known as Jailhouse Rock, as their choice of fighting style in order to survive their stay in prison. But 52 Blocks was not born in prison. So to conclude, 52 Blocks are all of the above, but for me it's a beautiful and unique form of martial art that can be used as training for self-defense and for competition fighting as a component in MMA fights. I am privileged to have come into contact with 52 Blocks, to have been able to certify as an instructor, and to be able to share this beautiful art with others so that more people can experience it. That is why I teach. Salute. That's it. Hopefully it shed some light on what 52 Blocks is, and if it sparked your interest, you too can learn 52 Blocks. This is Flemming from Denmark, aka Charismatic Birdie, saying salute. See you on the next one.